Welcome to our wild life. Let's take a walk through Lady Willaby, Duchess of Campshire. So Willaby, or Lady Willaby, is our 2026 Aucta Willow from Intech. 26 feet long, and we went with the twin bed setup. So I'm going to do a quick walk through the outside. Propane storage, the one piece you can't miss about the Intech Auctas is this beautiful panoramic window up front. It's partly the reason that we went with this, but it's mainly what's on the inside of what we went with this. Again, 26 feet, 0 slides. That's also one of the reasons we also went with this particular trailer. You see on the side here. Okay, let's get a quick walk through the front. So up in front, big Intech branding across here houses both propane tanks. There's two 20-pound tanks in there. Just standard jack hitch up front. So Intech, they build a lot of like commercial trailers and things like that. Custom built frame or aluminum framing and a custom built trailer all welded together. They build everything in Indiana at their factory there. When we get out that way, Steph and I will definitely stop by for a quick tour there. This hatch up front, small hatch, this is the only hatch that is both inside and outside accessible. So in the front, this is where the dinette section is, so it circles around. There's a bench that pops up and gives inside access off of this one. Midway door, bathroom windows here, 2 outlets here, 2 outlets back here. This table here actually comes out from this compartment. This compartment has the slide out griddle and fridge, so we've used that a couple of times, and we also got the fridge stocked there. But this table comes out and bolts into there and comes out here just for a workstation. Have our propane release here. The griddle propane line ties into that, but also I bought an extension so I can use for our little like fire pit, and for if we wanted to cook somewhere else off to the side. Just got like a little propane fire pit that we use. We'll put in there. Our bike rack goes on top. The bikes are currently wrapped up right now. Just put the backup camera on the back. That's the Halo View BT7, but that's a different video. On this side, you'll see where our water hookup is. Our water fills here. Water hookup is here. Underneath here is just an outdoor shower, or not outdoor shower, but more so just like an outdoor hose that plugs cold water only, so it doesn't get picked up by the tankless water heater that's inside. So cold water only from here. But this little small storage here. So what you can do on this model, if you opt to not go with the outdoor kitchen, this door and the other door, you can take that partition out in the middle and you can get a full garage in the back. Quite a bit of space in both. So I'll keep our cover that comes for the big front window back here. We keep a telescoping ladder, things like that. Some of the bigger pieces, this one is not full. This one is full. So this one houses all of our bags for all of our sewage hoses, all of our water hoses, electrical things, the watchdog, surge protectors in there. All of this stuff gets packed up, stored in there. All of our chalk blocks, our X-Chalks, all into the storage here. And so this is not standard on all of them. So you get this one extra only in the twin setup. So only in the twin bed setup do you get that extra outdoor storage, which again was the main reason that we went with the twin setup, was the external storage that we get extra, and also the inside storage that we get. The inside closet is basically doubled, if not tripled in space for what you get there. So this is also what they considered prior the Rover package, but in 2026. So in a lot of them, under the Aucta here and even on the back, you'll have like the red Rover badging here. And what that means is like you get the more like off-roady tires. It's a lifted trailer, but in 2026 that is standard on the entire Aucta line. So the Rover package is really no longer a thing. Then we have our furnace exhaust here. Put these little bug vents on there like everybody does, just cheap little Amazon thing with the little bracketing. Just keeps like bugs, like wasps, bees, anything else kind of crawling in. And then we have our tankless water heater here. This does not stay on because I can't open this door with that on, but I'll take this one off. And this one is actually just the fan that's piped out from the battery compartment. So under the bench on this side houses a battery, and that battery's in a box and it has a vented fan on it, so it comes out through here. But like I said, this one will come off. This one I may leave for now, but if I ever need to access, I'm going to leave it on while we're traveling and doing things like this, but if I ever need to do maintenance, I'm going to have to pop that one off because this door will not open with that in place. All right, and there she is, Lady Willaby. That's the external. I only have the white on this particular trailer. We did not go with any solar package because I felt personally that it wasn't enough for a truly off-grid camper. I don't even remember what the specs are, but maybe like 400 watts or something like that, maybe 600. But I think for what you were getting, the battery and the inverter and everything maybe would last you a couple of days. But I was thinking, like, if we're going to pay the money, it's already wired, so that's a good thing. It is wired for solar, so we can set up our own kit up there. But to me, with how we would plan to camp on like out west and like BLM land and all that, we would need at least 1,400, and that's probably around the largest I've seen people get on there. But yeah, and so far we're loving it. It has been tough, I'm not gonna lie. There's been some tough days, but I think that's just an honest view at it. A lot of stuff happening back and forth. Again, got a couple of issues that we got to get fixed, but yeah, both pups getting sick, a lot of traffic in and out, so it's like it's been pretty stressful. We haven't even really started our trip yet. We're still at this moment in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, near family and friends, and doing the highs and buys there. Supposed to hit the road Saturday, but we're actually going to have to go back to Wilmington because our parts came in from our warranty request for our converter and our tail light in the back that's not working. So we're going to take a trip all the way back down to Wilmington, hopefully get that fixed Monday morning first thing, and then make the drive from Wilmington up to Natural Bridge, Virginia. And then right after that, we'll start our real trip as we start with the national parks, and we'll kick it off with Shenandoah. All right, let's get inside. All right, come on in to home. So I left the lights off for now because Steph and I love a cozy vibe. So we got our little lamp here, our little entryway. Got our baskets, keys, and things like that. The Waggle's up here. This is bolted down by museum gel. This is bolted down museum, and a little decorative here, but we wanted it to feel like home. So you see the two sconces on each side and a ceiling fan. None of that stuff comes standard in the Auctas. This is all stuff that Steph and I have added. Mostly Steph, she made it feel like home. We wrapped all of the seats here. They're the typical gray. So layout of our Aucta Willow. So I'll turn the big light on so we can see. So as you come in into the kitchenette and the dinette area. So big reason that we went with this particular model is for us, we sit here to work. So Steph mostly, we use multiple screens. I'll sit out here when I can, but when we're in meetings. The other reason we picked this model is that sliding barn door walks back to the bedroom, so then I can sit back there, take my meeting, close this door. Steph can sit up here, take her meeting, and we're good to go. In this model as well, you'll see quite a bit of storage up top, both open and enclosed. So our open ones we try to keep as clean as we can. I know at some point living long-term / full-time in one of these things, I feel like over time it's definitely going to bulk up. But then got like some flour and our sugar, and then in these back cabinets back here, they're not really ones that we need to get to things frequently, but we keep some extra stuff back there, first aid kits, hiking gear, things like that. We got binoculars back there. It's kind of a smorgasbord of stuff that we kind of store in that back one back there. On this side here, you'll see our kitchenette come in. This is a 3-burner propane stove. It also has the little convection oven in it as well, so microwave / convection. This one does not have the air fryer in it, so we did bring an air fryer. It's under here. And then you have the big sink here. Keep it covered up, obviously, because we got dirty dishes in here, and you guys don't need to see that, but pretty large sink. Nice residential style faucet. Then we have just like our seasonings and stuff. Cabinets up top is mostly our kitchen stuff, so over here we'll keep cups and teas and things like that. And then in this one here, mostly carrying like all of our spices and some other things. You see, it's pretty tall, pretty good amount of space. We got the basket in here. It's got all of our seasonings in it, and then you'll see the Reflectix in the back. We'll mention that in a different video, but we added that to a lot of places just to help with like heat and insulation a little bit better in those hot climates like we were down at the coast. And then this one here again, also have a couple of baskets, just keep some extra towels, just a little mini prep food processor, and then our cups and teas and things like that in there. And then where our walk-in is, you'll see this little bucket here, just a little cheap IKEA shoe organizer that we put our shoes in, and it gives us a nice shelf. We'll probably add something eventually that lifts this up a little bit, like a little bit cleaner basket to put the pup leashes in and things like that. We also have one underneath the desk there that we put all of our laptops and stuff in at the end of the workday. And then we'll have a basket here, just the overflow of like pups food that we just refilled, and some extra food there. As we get down a bit, we'll store them under here to kind of get, we don't really like a lot of clutter, as you can kind of see, but most lived in days, it's cluttered. But for the sake of this video, you're getting it in the clean state that it's basically only in for like the first hour that we arrive somewhere. So on this side, this is like an entry table. We can use it as a stand-up desk, but we typically haven't at this point. We just kind of use it as an entryway. We got our lamp here. We got our, like I said, our baskets, keep our keys, all that kind of stuff in here. And then underneath this drawer here will be our silverware drawer. Knives and holds everything, all of our silverware. We've got some extra. I hoard napkins for some reason. I know Steph hates it. I'm surprised she hasn't tossed them yet. And then underneath here is our pantry. So Steph has added these lid holders here, and we got some paper plates in that one. But this is the 2-drawer system. You can see it is full because we live full time in here. So on the bottom one, we got our like plates and bowls. We got some cereal and stuff. Again, this is all stuff that we kept over from the house when we moved out of the house. So once we get a lot of this stuff depleted, we'll reset it for how we travel and eat and everything out of the camper. But right now we're just trying to burn through what we had left over. And then we went with this set here. What is this called? The Sensarte. It's again Amazon special, but one, it had the pretty like tan colorway that goes with our stuff, but it has these like removable handles, so that way it breaks down and stores like that really nice. So that's the only set of cooking pans we have, except for a couple little bake sets that we have as well. And then on the other side up underneath here, we have just like a scale, just in case we try to do the sourdough. We haven't attempted it yet. And then underneath there we have a collapsible set of like mixing bowls. It has a strainer in there, it has a sifter in there, and some measuring cups. So like kind of went that route, so that way we can only do the one thing and it not take up a whole lot of space. As anyone knows, when you're moving into an RV or something like that, space is premium. All right, and then you'll see up top too, the other difference with an Intech is this is the Coleman Mach. I believe it's the 15 BTU if I'm not mistaken. And then it's semi-ducted, and I say semi-ducted because you can see it's kind of somewhat flush here. But then you have this drop down piece, and there is a duct here and a duct here, and it flows all the way back to the bedroom, and there is another big duct in the middle there. So when the air comes on, it's mostly pushing the air out of each one of those to fill this living area here and the living area in the back there. So there, I know they make this like RV Cool and those other little pieces that you can kind of slide up in there. If you pop this piece off, it kind of dumps the air, and you got these vents here where you can dump air. We typically try and keep those closed, and aren't really doing that. Sometimes we'll dump it like that if we're doing a long travel day and it's super hot and we're trying to get it cooled down. We'll open these up and let it just kind of dump the air in. But for the most part, we keep those closed. And we may end up actually adding one of those little like, there's a whole bunch of brands of them. You can make them yourselves. It's just basically a V-cut unit that goes up in here and forces the air into the ducting instead of allowing it to kind of like accumulate in the circle and just or right below where it dumps out and then just slowly fill out. So we might add that at some point, just kind of see if it works. Have the TV in here. There's also a TV back in the bedroom. This cabinet here is housing, you hear the whine, that's what we have to get swapped out. So our converter is making that high-pitched noise. So we're getting that replaced. And then we have our water heater, and then our battery switch here. This also houses like our fuses and things like that. So nothing else fits in this one but that there. If we ever did do the solar package, well, I guess because they put the battery switch there, I was hoping I could like hide the panel in there, but maybe not. We'll maybe have to find another spot to hide it. One other thing that we did is we can't really see it. Let me see. I can see it if I turn that. Not really, but anyway, we added this outlet here and then one on the other side there as well, because we knew we were going to be working a lot from here. So we wanted to, when we first walked through it, we were like, yeah, we definitely need more there, because there's really only one like USB plug on this side here, and then the only other outlet nearby is the one way over here at the door that we would have to run all the way across. So we added two at the front because we knew we were going to be working from there. We've learned already that we wish we would have added more outlets. I don't know what it is about like outlets in RVs, but when you're in full-time in like an Aucta, there could be sufficient if you're not working, but if you're working full-time, you're definitely going to need more. Feel like you're limited a bit in the back as well. Steph has added a surge protector strip behind the TV back there because we got a Furbo hooked up. We got the Waggle we hook up sometimes back there. We got our water leak sensors brick hooked up back there. So a lot of value in some plugs. So if anything, we probably would have added a couple more. And I think as we go through this 6-month trip that we're doing, this loop before we get back into this area and we get back down towards the coast, we're gonna see how we like it at that point and decide if we're gonna keep going or not. But at that point, we may drop it off to get a couple things changed and edited, and if we do that, we'll probably add some more outlets in as well. All right, and then we have this is just the monitor. Gives you your black tank, your gray tank, your freshwater tank, and your battery. And then this unit also has, it's like, I call it semi-encapsulated. They say 4-season, but I say 3 because it's not fully sealed underneath the bottom. So like when you think about like an Airstream or something like that, or like a Casita, it's like the 2-piece and it's sealed and insulated all the way through. This one is actually pretty nice. It's pretty close. I'd probably say 3.5 season. But the one thing that helps push it into 4 is it has a tank heater that will heat up your freshwater tank, and it also has a line heater that will heat up your water line. So that way, if you're in like freezing temps, you could probably last a couple of days because it would help with that. So you could be able to heat. And then the other button here is just our water pump. So we're on just plugged into water. So when you're plugged in like that, you don't need to run the water pump. But if I filled the freshwater tank and we didn't have water service anywhere, then we would have to run the water pump to pull that water through all the hosing. And then this one just has the little Jensen radio Bluetooth. Got the speakers, 2 speakers up front there, and there's 2 behind the beds as well. We only used it 1 time so far, but it worked pretty good. I mean, again, on the tanks here, like the black tank's showing like 2/3 full, but it shows 2/3 all the time. Like it immediately like blacked out. I guess we got stuff on the sensor down there. So I'm gonna flush the black tank when we leave here before we actually hit the road to see if that kind of clears those sensors out, and we'll try from there. And the other great thing about the Willow is it's a 2 split between a shower and a bathroom. So you have this piece here will house your shower. So your shower is separate from your bathroom. So it is not a wet bath. It is a dry bath because you get the toilet, sink, and everything in this one, and the shower in this one. So let's take a look at the bathroom really quick. And you see we've added our little shelf there, some little hangers, and there we are. So pretty decent sized little bathroom. It's got the porcelain Dometic toilet, and it's got storage underneath here, but it's also got the open shelving, so we keep like our cleaner, the Happy Campers. We've tried a couple different ones. We're on the Happy Campers right now to see which one we kind of like. And then we have our cabinet up here, just houses all of our extra stuff. So we got lotions. I got both of my travel DOP kits that I use, which is like extras. We have extras for our toothbrushes. We use like the little Surrey electric toothbrushes, things like that in there. And then there's our little owl because of Our Wildlife and our owl icon, and Our Wildlife spells owl. So that was the first piece of art that I think it was the first thing ever that we bought for the camper, because we bought it, I'm pretty sure, like a day or so after we looked at them when we were thinking about it. Like, I think we bought that before we even committed to doing the RV. So pretty cool. All right, now let's take a peek at the shower real quick. And then we added these 2 hangers here for the towels. You'll see in the shower we have a rug here that we put in. We let it dry out, and again, an extremely sizable shower. Like, it's got the little bench you can sit down, plenty of room. One of the things, and then it came with this snap on here with the storage, and it came with these 2 hooks here, but we got our like little body mitts there. You could hang the towels in there if you wanted to, but you know, we didn't want to just kind of leave them sitting anywhere, so we just kind of added those little command strips there, added in there. Also, another big mirror on the shower side here, so steams up pretty good when you're in the shower. But you get in here and you can kind of see, like, and then I mean, you see where I'm standing, like it's pretty good space. So like, you can, this raises up and down. I got it down here because we're rinsing it out from Maverick earlier, and then this moves up and down, and you got your fan here. This is not a rain sensor, so there's 4 fans in here, 2 small fans like this with a small fan and the switch to turn it on to pull stuff out, and this is a manual raise and close. And then you have 2 Max Air fans. Let me actually show you that one. In the front and in the rear. So, and again, you'll see it's behind it's that ceiling fan that she added. Actually, I laugh about it, but this thing throws a lot of air. So we had it in the bedroom to start, and when it kicks out of that ducting there, it pulls it down really nice. So we got like a little battery powered small one back there now, and we held on to this one, so she's been using it up here at the office. But Max Air fan behind here. This one is rain censored, has the controls here when you come in, and then the other Max Air fan is in the back there. And then I don't know if you saw the one, same exact one that's in the shower is here, manual raise and close and manual switch for the fan. All right, and then again, some more storage up there above the fridge, and the fridge is super packed right now, again, because when you're full-time it's something like this, but I'll give you a quick peek. Pretty sizable. When we emptied everything out and got everything in, like, it fit essentially everything that we had left over at the beach house fit in. And again, we still have the Bouge RV fridge outside that came with the griddle. We've been using that one for like sodas and waters and things like that, just to kind of keep them cool. We used that as the freezer when we were transferring all of our freezer stuff from the beach house. So all that good stuff has come in really handy. All right, let's go take a peek at the bedroom. All right, so we have the twin bed set up. So again, the main reason we did look at the queen. We were kind of decided on the queen and then swapped it for this twin setup literally the day we bought it. And the reason we did that is because, like I said, we got that extra outdoor storage. Then the other reason is this closet here. You'll see on the sides here, like on the queen setup, because you have to be able to walk around the mattress, it cuts into this. So it's probably, I mean, under a half of what you get. You get at least double the size, if not triple the size, in this closet here with the twin bed setup than you did. And again, space is a premium, so that's why we went with the twin. And then this bed here also has storage underneath, and then this one here houses the water pump. So no storage underneath this one because it's just got a little section there for the water pump, and then again the other part of it is cut out for that external storage. But this one has all internal storage. There's no access outside for the storage in here, so it's only accessible by lifting up the bed here. The other reason we went with the twin is because you can kind of see when you're walking, it's just kind of a straight path all the way back. So I don't have to like get in here. And when we were touring the queen, we had to get in, we had to do a little walk around, and like Steph was getting really close to hitting her head on the shelving there. So it was like, for us, we were like, I don't know, like at some point we knew that it was going to happen. That wasn't really a weighing factor, but the queen bed also had storage underneath, if you're wondering about that. But for us, because, you know, again, if we were just using it for like weekend trips and things like that, queen bed maybe would have been a better option for us in that sense, because it'd probably been a little more comfy. But for us, living in it full time, long term, like we are, working and everything, the twin bed setup was way more practical. So again, we got our own switches back here. So here's the controller here for the other Max Air fan that also has the Reflectix on it. Then we have a bedroom light switch here. We have the accent light, which are blue, like every single RV in the world's accent lights. I don't know what the deal is with the blue. I guess it like doesn't attract bugs or whatever. And then you have the main switch as well, which is actually kind of nice. You can get all of the switches done in the bedroom or out front. And then you have our Coleman Mach thermostat is here. And then also in this one, you'll see our little desk here in the middle that also comes with the twin bed setup. There is a bedroom light switch right here. So if we're in bed and we want to get it, then we can kind of like, you know, want to get the ambiance going, but we need to get up for something. We got a quick light right there if we don't want to kind of search for that one or search for the one outside. And again, what I was saying earlier, there's literally one plug. So what we've done is we've added this decorative basket here. We house like a little surge protector strip that we've hooked in here to kind of run our phone chargers out each side. And then we keep those in there, holds controllers and things like that. And then there's one singular drawer here. This is part of the storage where the slide is. So there's no storage under here. It's only the drawer here, and we just kind of house like our Kindles and lotions and other things like that. And then we also have this little shelf here, which is pretty sizable for what it is, but we just got like there's an iPad in there and like things like that, just like an extra kind of little bedtime drawer. I got a book, my little PlayStation Portal in there, things like that. And then this one also has both open and enclosed storage, like the front of the trailer had, aside from just the closet space here. And you'll see it's loaded up. We've got like a little storage shelf up top, and then a bunch of clothes. We rolled them up. And then I added these two sensor lights here again, because like sometimes the RV lights can be a little bright early in the morning or at night if you need to take the dogs out or something. And then this also has two drawers. Steph took one drawer, I took one drawer. We kind of split this. I took most of this one actually, and then I get all of this one. It's got like underwear, socks, and things like that in there. And then you see just like a random assortment of stuff up there. Headphones, some of my gaming stuff is up there because I actually did bring my PC for this trip. I have a mini built PC. I'll do a completely separate video on that. We'll pass by Steph real quick as she's rolling her eyes up front. Also a TV back here. Then a small little shelving here. This is just a laundry hamper. And Steph's new Bissell Coastal, what's it called? What's the color? But it's like, I don't know if you could tell in the video here, but it's like this really pretty like tan color. It's like our exact like brand color, if you want to call it that, because we have like the tan and the green. But really pretty Bissell vacuum that she just picked up. We had a couple smaller ones, but we were like, it's kind of worth the space, because she went through, she needed something that had the spiral to dig the stuff out of like the rugs and things like that. So we went with that one. Fits nice there. But we have like a little shelving down at the bottom there. It houses a couple things. Steph has added the basket here, houses our dehumidifier. That's the one thing we were like, we gotta have, and it pulls so much moisture out of the air. Because like these types of ACs, we just run the AC for the most part. We don't really run the fan full time, but on those really hot days you kind of have to. But when you're running the fan like that, it brings in a little more mugginess because it's pulling that air out from outside and trying to filter it through. So it brings a little bit more moisture in. And then the other night when we lost power for about 20 something hours, we had the windows and stuff open, so let a lot of moisture in for sure that night. And the one thing you don't want in an RV is moisture. So dehumidifier is a must-have if you're in an RV. The TV here, and then we've added this rack here, just houses like some extra stuff. It's got some cleaners in there, extra towels, like beach and like pool towels, and then the assortment pieces for the vacuum cleaner, and then just our hat storage up top. I keep my little like headlamp here, so if I'm like running things outside at night or something like that, and I don't want to turn that porch light on, being respectful of our neighbors, I'll throw that on, and so I can aim it down if I'm taking the pups out, so I can find the poop and stuff like that. behind this TV is where Steph has added, let me scoot over here, you'll see she's added the surge strip there, and we plug in not only the dehumidifier, the TV's plugged in on the switch itself, but we plug in the Furbo back here. We have the Furbo Mini here, so this will be on a different video as well, but a really nice thing to have if you're traveling in an RV with your pets. This and the Waggle, I would probably say, are the two must-haves for traveling with pets. And then the one thing we actually just did too is we just updated the mattresses. So we made it about a month on the mattresses that we had. I believe they were 4-inch. I don't know what the brand is. They're all like, again, RV mattresses are notorious for being not good. And we tried, and honestly, they weren't bad. They weren't terrible, but I guess like I'll say they weren't terrible if you're like a side sleeper or maybe a stomach sleeper. I'm a back sleeper, and my back was killing me by like the first week. And then Steph is a side sleeper, so, and she said it didn't really bother her. She's also younger than me, so maybe that's it. But we swapped them out for, I'm gonna say that they were 4-inch. They could have been 6, but we swapped them out for 8-inch mattresses. We went with the like Novilla Bliss from Amazon. We had one of these actually in our house as our guest mattress, and we got compliments on it all the time, and the ratings on Amazon again are really good. So we were like, you know what, like if it, and it was on sale, we got a really nice price on both of them. When you look at like RV mattress and you look at all these other ones that are like built for RV, like some of them are like $1,200-$1,300, and I'm like, what, for a twin? So I wasn't about to do that, so we did the Amazon special again, the Novilla Bliss 8-inch. And then the other thing that we did, which will also be in another video, is we added, instead of going with like the Froley system, we went with the slats there from IKEA. So that's just the twin slat, and that, what that does is, one, keeps the mattress off of that piece there, kind of gives you some airflow under there, because again, you can get moisture buildup underneath your mattress, because if you think about it, like we got those like outdoor storage parts, like air's filtering through there. It's just a piece of probably like particle board or plywood that this bed mount is built on. There's no box spring, there's nothing under there, so it's just like contact to contact. And if you're blowing cold air on top out here, but that warm air and hot air is coming in underneath, you're going to get that moisture barrier right there. So we added that slat, so that way we could lift the mattresses up and get some airflow up under there to help with hopefully reduce and like end all mold buildups. But again, we check them pretty regularly, and we also have our sheets, but we also have like a protective barrier on the mattress as well that Steph added, that I thought was a really good idea. It's just not the crinkly kind for like kids, but it's one that you just kind of fold over and it zips up nice. It doesn't make crinkly noises. It's just a mattress protector that we added on. The other thing I added was this little piece here. This is just like a little magnetic light that I added again because we're typically rocking it like this with the light out. We want the ambiance. We don't really want the bright white light, so that's how we're making it home, is doing things like that. And then again, like 2 more storage units up here. These are both Steph's. Open storage there for Steph, and then the back here also enclosed storage. It's not super deep here, and it kind of curves up because that's the back of the camper's curving like this way, so it like curves up like this, so you kind of lose the top level. So you got a little bit wider, and then it closes up the top. So we got like sleeping stuff mostly. Got a couple hoodies back there, a couple like jogger pants for when we get into like colder weather and things like that. And then you'll see the other speaker there and the other speaker there for that Jensen Bluetooth. But that is pretty much it. And then you'll see again, like another big selling feature for us was this sliding barn door. Not the biggest fan of barn doors, but you know what? When you're in an RV and you're working full time and you're on meetings at the same time, this thing is really nice to have. I know that there are other RVs out there that have doors and stuff, but I don't know that there's another one out there that this size, you know, under 30 foot, that has something like that with no slides, that will have a door quite like that, that can give you that privacy when you're in those meetings. And yeah, I'm pretty sure, I think that is it. Oh, and then here's the other kind of vent the air just kicked on a minute ago. So like here's the other ducting vent that pushes air down. Again, I mean, it does a pretty good job. So when you get the little fan there's a little battery fan that will hang like here or here, or the other ceiling fan that I showed you, and that will just kind of grab that air and just pull it straight down on you. So man, it gets like super cozy in here. So a really nice ad by Steph there. I got to give her mad props, because like when she said that she ordered a ceiling fan, I was like, what? How are you getting a ceiling fan in a camper? But she found a way to do it, so mad props, Steph, on that one. I'll add one more thing. Hey buddy, Maverick's making his appearance. Excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. So we added these things here, just like we found them at Walmart, but they're like little storage bins. So we keep them, like we use them as like extra pantry space. So we got like snacks and crackers and nuts and things like that in there. We also put some of the pet food in there. Like I said, we got the little bin up there that we keep kind of the overflow. We just restocked everything, but as we narrow stuff down, we'll use them here. But this works really well because like it slides right up under the table. Oh, and Macy made an appearance too. Hey, sweet girl. Slides right up under the table. Works actually really well for like a foot bench if we're like leaning back there and watching TV and things like that. But we have one up here and we have one in the back as well. The one in the back works really well for like the pups getting up and down onto the beds, especially now that they're a little bit higher because we went with the 8-inch and lifted them up a little bit. But I think that made quite a difference. Gives us a little bit of comfort and gives us extra storage space as well. The other thing I will say really quick, another good hack by Steph, is you see the pillow here and then the pillow here cases, but what she has done is she's taken like her jackets and like winter clothes and like thicker pieces like that, or extra things that didn't fit back there, and she's rolled them up and stuffed them in to the pillowcase. So that's not a pillow in there or there, it's clothing in there, but it's stuffed into a pillowcase, so it's now functional because it has extra storage for clothing, but it's also pretty as well. And we can get the couch all set up and nice. And then the other thing that we did wrap these seats. I mentioned that before, but we just wrapped these like taupe velvet seats. And one last thing is the reason that we did this model as well. We looked at this one and we looked at the OVR, but the one thing about the Aucta line is this lean forward design, as Intech calls it. But the thing that it does is, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but the seats here, not these ones here, but like the ones where I'm at, they recline back just a little bit. So for people like me with terrible posture that don't need perfect posture, like these here are like perfect posture seats. So like you're like perked up and like straight back everything. But these ones give you just enough lean back to feel really comfy, especially, you know, and the table's here now, but like especially if you just kick your feet up on this little bench here, you can get you move you, and that TV slides out a little bit, get your TV going, and you're good to go. So really nice, really comfortable. When we looked at the OVR model that we were also looking at to do also a really great, really cool camper, the OVR Navigate was the one that we were looking at. They have an Expedition that's a smaller model as well. Same with the Aucta line. They have the Sycamore, which is the really big one. We looked at that one too, because that one has like a twin bed set up in the back, and you can lift one of the twin beds and like a little desk folds out of the wall. But we looked at that one, but it was just so, for us, it was like, one, money, and then two, was like it just felt like so much wasted space because we would never utilize the twin bed. So if it would have been a little more structured for how we would have utilized it, we don't have kids, people aren't going to visit us, so like we may have gone with that one, but it was a longer trailer and a more expensive trailer. So that's why we ended on the Willow model, which is kind of like the second largest. So this is, I don't remember this Sycamore, maybe like 31 or something like that, and then the Willow here is 26, and then there's a Magnolia that's under us that's a little bit smaller as well. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think that one has, when you get a little bit smaller, you start getting into the wet bath. And when I say wet bath, I mean when it's the shower and the bath, the toilet and everything is the same exact room, so that when you're in that room taking the shower, all of your toilet and stuff is getting wet. Very common. It's not like a weird thing. They're very common in a lot of RVs and a lot of the Sprinter vans. Steph and I have rented and camped out of Sprinter vans in the past, so we're no stranger to it, and it's really honestly not that big of a deal. But we just kind of liked that we had use of the shower and use of the bathroom as well without having to kind of like wait for the other person. But just wanted to add that piece in. That's another drawing factor of why we ended up with Lady Willaby, is because this lean forward design of the Intech Aucta series just adds more comfort. And I mean, if you're gonna live your life out of a travel trailer, it needs to be comfortable. And that's pretty much it. That is Lady Willaby, Duchess of Campshire. Thank you guys so much for watching. Much love, and let's wander on to the next one.